Hello, welcome to Flory Models Kit Review Time. Today we got MENG's latest release. This is a 1/35th scale Russian BUK missile system, or the 9K37M1 BUR, which, to be honest, has quite a famous history, we think, allegedly, and I don't really want to go through the politics of it, but definitely it seems to be this was the one that shot down a certain airliner over Ukraine a few years ago. But anyway, the thing that's a little bit weird with this is how do you display the box? Because technically it's that way, but the writing's that way. I don't know, yeah, it's a little bit odd of how to show this one. But anyway, it is a fantastic kit by the looks of it. I must admit, I've been sitting on this one now since Christmas. I've only literally got just round to reviewing it, but I've got to do it because a lot of people I know are actually building this now and telling me what a fantastic kit it is. So not wanting to spoil the review, I'm trying to keep out of it. But anyway, it is the Tyrannosaurus kits. No, it's not. This is the Stegosaurus kits. So it's SS014. We can see down in here, they do a funny way of doing the numbering. As we can see, beautiful markings on this one. It's going to be very nice in that sort of Cold War Euro colour scheme, as you can see. Talking about, obviously, the system itself. It's basically a SAM site in the great scheme of things, but it's actually quite a nice one and a very lethal one. We can see we've got colour callouts now for AK Interactive. It's getting very difficult with the different companies backing each other in different ways, so you are going to have to get your conversion chart out for this one, but technically it's the standard sort of Russian scheme on this one, so it's not too bad at all. Okay, so last look round on the box there. So there we go, that's your box, and then just for this I'm going to stick the box this way up because I prefer the look. Straight away, as you can see, we've got a load of tan plastic down here, all separately bagged, very nice. There's the size of those missiles. That's your actual hull set. We've got a little bit of photo etch and various other items down in here as well, which we'll look at in a moment. We've got a colour call out for it. We've got our instructions, as always. So, a little bit obviously about the missile system. Tools you'll be required, and then we are straight into it. 3 versions down in here, so obviously I think it's just 3 camo versions about the thing. I think the actual build is generally the same with them all, but we'll keep an eye out for that during it. Usual things, so we've got the road wheels, the idler wheels, and the drive sprocket going down in there. Lower hull, all the cleats and lumps, bumps, and return rollers, things like that, being fitted down into there. More detail being fitted onto this one. Torsion bar suspension system, and it's active as well, so that means it will work. So those are going to be going, so don't obviously glue those in place just down at the far end, not at the rest of it, but you can do it from the inside as well. So that's the very nice touch with that one. Then obviously it's showing you going with all the road wheels, sprockets, things like that. Technically you're probably not going to put those in yet, but you get the idea to it, so those are being fitted in there. Then you're working on the upper hull section, so there is differences between A and B, and obviously C has different ones, and there's various things, so keep an eye out. There is different little changes between them all, so probably best to pop through with your build, mark them all off beforehand so you don't forget. Okay, so that's those sections being fitted down in there, and then you've got the lower and upper hull being mated together, side plate armour being fitted down onto that one, and then various grills and areas being fitted onto the top. Then you've got all the various bits going on there as well, so we've got various grills going on there, top covers, lights, you name it, all the usual suspects being fitted down onto this one right the way through. So quite a lot of detail on this particular one right the way through. Stowage equipment, all these areas that are going to make up the lower section for this one. Okay, then we've got this very interesting, and it has been spoken about quite a lot on the Flory Models forum, of how good this system actually is. It's one of these ones where you basically put them all in, and then you have pins that you drive in, take it out, it comes out in one piece, and then you just cut the actual pins off, and that way you get a working track. As I said, it does seem to be very good at the moment. A lot of people have built this one and are all reporting it works, so something to look out there. We've got a polycap system, looks like, down in here with an underside. This will be for the missile or for the actual twister part itself being fitted down in. Various other sections making its way up for the top part, so we've got all the side armour going into it and things like that. Okay, so all of those being fitted in, as I said, multiple parts, multiple handles, multiple doors. As you imagine, there's tons of it right the way through. Then we've actually got the hydraulic cylinder for the actual lifter erector section of the missile system itself being fitted down on there. And then we've got all the other parts, as you can imagine, going right the way through. Quite a lot of detail. We've got the radar itself, obviously being fitted down onto the back part of that one as that makes its way up. And then obviously we've got the optical system being fitted down in there, and then we've got the missile launch system itself, and again very detailed right the way through, looking absolutely fantastic on this one. Those systems being fitted down in there. You've got wiring for this one as well, various things being fitted through all the way, as you can see. Plenty of detail going into this build. Don't think it's just a thing on a swivel on the top. There's a lot more to it. We've got some bars being fitted down onto the outside of this one, some guard protection rails for it. Then the actual missile system itself. Again, it's huge, it's big, and there's lots of parts to it. Highly detailed, and those being fitted down on there. And then last up, you've actually got the system of mating the actual top turret system with the missile and radar down to the actual hull itself. Very, very nicely done. Lots of things, colour callouts down at the back as well. So again, yeah, very weird of how they're coming out with these things. They're obviously jumping in with these companies. Colour callouts, just on one big sheet down here. So again, missiles standard, and then obviously we've got three types of camo down in here. We've got the nice sort of green, brown, black, and the tan being fitted down in there. Then we've got a digital one as well, which is quite a nice little one down in there. Okay, and then we've got this one, probably the old school camo scheme as well, which is from 2004. So obviously that's the older scheme that they used to have back in the day. And again, missile colours. Indeed, lots down there. Then we got this one here. I'm not going to bother getting into that. This is just the tray system for the actual link track work and things like that, as you can see down in here. Okay, so that's just in clear and a couple of clear parts. Interestingly, up here we've got the wiring loom down the back here for the actual missile system with the 4 connectors and for both sides of those going through. Decals themselves, as you can imagine, we've got various ones for the weapons and then the markings down in there as well. We do get a lovely piece of photo etch as well for the grills. Okay, so that's actually quite nicely done. Some good detail on that one. Very nice. Okay, and then it's into it. So if we start with the actual hull, looks like they're all separate bagged. So, 3 sections ago, we've got some polycaps down in here. We've actually got the lower parts for the hull and then the upper set as well. So if we slide in here, so I'll start on the lower part first. So the lower hull, as you can see, loads of detail, even though you're not going to see it because it's on the underside. So we've got the escape hatches and various maintenance hatches underneath. The sides, looking very nice. Again, good, strong, hard plastic. It's that chinky stuff that we do like. That's very nice indeed. Then we've got the upper part, which has got loads going to be added on. So this is like the sort of the framework that everything's going to be put onto. But you can see we've got the hatches, all the hinges down in here right the way round. We're going to adding tons onto this, as we said. And to be honest, our very own Rob from the live show is building this, and I can't remember how many parts it said makes up this upper section for this, but I didn't know it was a lot. Okay, so again, good sharp detail right the way through. The parts actually are really crispy and sharp, so that's a good sign of detail right the way through. And even this anti-slip plate, which isn't checkerboard, it's more like knobbled, is very sharp to the touch. It's very, very good indeed. So some nice good level of details in those. Okay, so somehow we'll shoot all this back. Okay, so where are we going to start? We'll do the missiles last. I'm going to do those. That's going to be pins. These are the major 2. Okay, so let's start in here. Okay, that can go over there. Okay, so as you can see, plenty of stuff, and it's very clever how they've put inside areas, trying to keep the space down. Generally looking around, usual thing, there's no flash on any of the parts. There's a little bit on the sprues, but nothing at all, and it's that nice anti-slip texture that they've moulded in this already. So if we start at the top here, this is the underside of the turret, and again with those areas in the middle, and again side sections, things like that. And then when you move down in here, you can see these are these panels on the side, and they've got very nice texture moulded into it. So it's the bolted stuff down in. Very, very nice. There's that missile radar system on the back. Again, nice slip moulded on that. Very nice indeed. And then over on this side, we've got the actual front part of that detection system and the inners and the various sections up in there. So again, very, very nice. And even on the blind side with all of these, still very, very nicely done. We can see the details down on this guy, down in this section. So again, very nicely done. Okay, then so Keep these down. So again, we've got the actual toe rails. This stuff is absolutely lovely. Loads of detail down here. Good, sharp, clean, crisp. No sink marks, no nothing like that anywhere on this one at all. Okay, so again, starting around at the top, got some very nice details with the hatches and all the various parts into that one. Very nice. And again, these areas with this anti-slip sort of knarling on the top, it's very, very nicely done. Very, very, very well molded. So the cable looks very nice and sharp. And again, all these details is lovely. It's the one thing I often say about MENG stuff. You know it's good because it's sharp. It's physically sharp to the touch. Okay, then even on the underside with these ones, we do have some down in here, got ejector pins, but they're very shallow and out of the way. You're not really going to see those anyway because they're going to be in up the arches. But other things, again, unless you're going to be displaying this open, there's nothing really on these, but the smaller parts down the back. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, so this is into some of the hydraulic system for the actual launcher, or the erector. Get it out. There we go. Come on. This guy is properly in here. Let's try it from the other end then. Try it this way. There we go. Fit tight that bag. Okay, so as you can see, loads of detail down in here for the missile erector. And again, it's all about texture with this particular kit. You've got that nice anti-slip and sort of mottled textures into the what would be metal that's been molded in the plastic, which is going to carry weathering and all these things. But as you can see, good, strong, sharp details with all of the parts on these. They're very nicely done, good detail. And that is the thing that's jumping out with this kit. It's not massive, but there's a hell of a lot of parts involved with it, and it's one of those things, there's a lot of detail going in here that unfortunately you're not going to see, but you know it's there. Okay, so to be honest, I don't think there's a lot of point getting this out. We can see what it is. It's just the road wheels, match pairs and everything else, and we can see in here quite nicely. So we've got the sprockets, we've got the road wheels, and we've got the sort of drive gear, okay, off of this one right the way through. As we would expect, twin pack of that, no problem at all. And again, pretty much the same here. This is a massive sprue full of all this. The only trouble is you've got to take each one of these off and clean them up. These are these pens we were talking about, which are in these sets of, what's that, 6? Oh yeah, oh no, sorry, it's 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6 in there right the way through. But unfortunately, as I said, you see it and it's like this, so you've actually got 4 sprues of this in this bag, so you're going to have to go around and cut every single one of these off, clean every single one up before you go through. That's going to be a couple of evenings of absolute fun, allegedly. But to be honest, by the time you've gone through and done metal tracks and stuff, it's probably not a lot in it. We want to have a good look at these because obviously this is the star of the system. Okay, so the missile system itself is the start of the actual model, because it's what everyone's going to be looking at. It depends if you got it in the fully deployed erected position or if you're going to have it sort of stowed. But as you can see, they are beautifully done. So obviously you get 4, so it's 2 halves right the way through, and we've got the details of the plating, we've got the rocket motors at the back, just like that, right the way through. And they don't disappoint, some nice detail on those right the way through. And then obviously you get a match pair with those as well. And there we go. It is an absolute stunning model. Very, very nice, very crisp. And as I said, I can report through other modelers telling me on the Flory Models site that it goes together absolutely fantastic. There's a couple of builds on the way as well if you want to follow along with those on the Flory Models forum. Beautiful work by the guys doing that. I have to say, I bought this one purely for me when it got first released because I fancy doing something a little bit different. I quite like the camo with the modern one you can see on here, things like that. And the missile system being in the deployed position like this, I think looks absolutely fantastic. So that's why I've got it. So expect to see this built by me in the very near future as we make our way through. Anyway, highly recommended, a beautiful kit again by MENG and an absolute must.